Hello, I'm the Autism Dad Victor Antunez, the Inclusive My Realtor, and this is the Autism Podcast at Miami's Community Newspapers. Today I'm with Harry Horgan. He's the co-founder and president of Shake a Leg Miami. Welcome to the show, Harry.
Well, thank you, Victor, for having me.
Yeah, I've known about you for a long time. Very unique program you have there in Coconut Grove. Miami-Dade is a very much better place. And it couldn't be a better location, really, because in terms of like being on the water, very central location. Now, you've been there since 1990?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And before that, it was a Coast Guard hangar.
Yeah.
So how did you come about becoming now the organization running out of that old Coast Guard hangar?
Well, we originally started Shake a Leg up in Rhode Island, and we were fortunate enough to team up with a boat builder, Everett Pearson, who was kind of like the godfather of fiberglass and Pearson Yachts and Tillotson and Pearson. And he said, I'll build a handicapped sailboat if you build the program. And as a result, we developed the sailboat, and we launched it when the tall ships were coming into Newport. And what was interesting, the Secretary of State, when we were launching the boat.
Who was it by chance?
The Secretary of State, Kathy Connell.
Okay.
She says, we're about to launch the tallest of the tall ships. And she was right from the standpoint that we didn't just launch a boat, we launched a movement. And the movement was an example of when people get together to take on a challenge that many said was impossible. Everett's lawyer had said, Everett, we can't do this project. And he said, why? Well, we can't do a project that's going to have people with disabilities get hurt. And when he told me that, I said, well, what did you say, Everett? And he said, well, I told him, we're just going to have to do it right. And so it was that philosophy that kept us going. Mm-hmm. And then with the boat, it generated a lot of attention, and it generated the attention of Dr. Barth Green, who's the co-founder of the Miami Project to Cure Paralysis. And he invited us to set up a program here in Miami. And my wife, Susie, and I, we happened to be down here visiting her mom, who grew up here in Miami. And so we looked from South Miami to North Miami and came across the Coast Guard, the historic Coast Guard station. And it is owned by the city of Miami, and it was deeded by the Department of Interior for recreational purposes. And so we presented a concept to Mayor Suarez, Xavier Suarez.
I remember him. Yes.
And he welcomed us with open arms.
Oh, really? That's so nice.
And Albert Reuter was the director of parks, and Kevin Smith was the assistant director. And that whole, from the staff level to the political level, everyone embraced us and said, let's make this happen. And it just shows you that the source of Miami's magic has come from Biscayne Bay. And Miami has grown as a result of being on the water. And so when we presented an idea to open it up to people with disabilities, everyone embraced it and said, let's do it. And so we moved forward. And at the time, Manny Medina had just built a building right across the street.
That name sounds familiar.
Manny Medina, Terramark.
Okay, yes.
And he had just bought Monty's restaurant at the time. And Monty Trainer.
I think Monty just passed away too, right? Or
No, he's still around.
Okay.
And Monty is an icon.
He is a legend here. Yeah.
Who really opened up, just a community activist that really has made life better for a lot of people. And so he got behind us, and Manny hosted an event that brought in a lot of people that helped fund the startup of the program. And then the momentum just kept going, and it so happened that I can remember when it was we were struggling on making this happen, and I got a call from David Ettman, who was the assistant director of Durham, and he said, "Hey, I understand you're launching a handicap sailing program. Would like to have you as the opening event for the Bonanza Festival, which is a celebration of the environment." And I said, "Well, thanks. We'd love to, but we're struggling. We don't know if we can pull this off." And he said, "Well, what's the issues?" And I said, "Well, we're having difficulty with our permits, and we're having difficulty raising the monies for the docks and this." And he said, "Well, let me get on it." And he calls me back. We got it all worked out. The docks were put in just in time for Bonanza Festival, which was right on the Columbus Day weekend. The part of the festivities was the Columbus Day Regatta. And here we are, our 4 boats with 400 boats. And for us coming down from Rhode Island, participating in an event like this, it was magical.
I'm sure.
And so that was our introduction. One of the guys on one of the boats won first place in our class.
What was the category?
It was our assigned ratings class for the 20-footers.
But you dressed it up. I mean, it had to be something like
it was. They just rate the different class boats, and so. But for Gary Grindell was his name, and for him to get back into racing, he was a paraplegic. Just was for him an experience that just filled him with anything's possible. And that's what Shake a Leg is all about, is provide a place where people can come and find hope and friendship and pursue their dreams.
Now, when you talk about it as a disability sailing program, it's actually a lot more than that, because that sounds kind of limited, but you also have kayaks out there. There's a small islands. You do summer camps out there. So like for the listener listening that doesn't know exactly what you guys do, tell me what you guys do.
Yeah. Well, when we originally started as a sailing program to serve people with spinal cord injuries and physical disabilities and neurological issues, working closely with the Miami Project and Jackson Memorial Hospital. That's where we, targeted people with physical disabilities. But as we started getting calls from youth organizations saying, "Hey, if you can take out the handicap, can you take out our at-risk kids?" And so now we're starting to
at risk, like drugs, gangs, that sort of thing.
Yeah, or from the inner cities that are just, don't have the environment, that they're stuck and challenged to, how do I get through an environment to where I can truly achieve my potential? And then I can remember it was one at the early days, Lester Johnson, who was with the Orange Bowl, and Lester's was a big sailor in town, and he came by and said, "Hey, do you have a summer camp?" And I said, well, we'd like to have a summer camp. And he said, well, why don't you? And I said, well, we don't have the money. And he goes, well, what if I give you a check for $10,000? You run a summer camp?
What year
And
was this?
this was like in probably 92 or 93.
I asked because $10,000 maybe back then would have been like 20 today, because none of this stuff is cheap,
Right,
especially on the water.
right. And so we and it came from the Orange Bowl. So, and the Orange Bowl is all about uplifting kids more than the football game and all the different sports they have. And Lester led the whole yachting side of it and boating side. And the Orange Bowl now supports one of the largest youth regattas in the country.
Now, the Orange Bowl, like, obviously I know what that is, but is it Orange Bowl Foundation? Like, what's the full name?
Yeah, well, I think the Orange Bowl Foundation runs the whole.
Okay.
And then it's the our involvement is with the Orange Bowl International Regatta, which is now Tucci is one of the main sponsors.
Who's Tucci?
Tucci. It's
I know the actor Stanley Tucci, but
no, it's Dugan Clark, born in Miami.
Okay.
A boater from time he would row his boat out of Dinner Key. He started a umbrella company, and has been very successful and has grown it. And he gives back to the community through various means, and one is sponsoring the Orange Bowl International Regatta. And so he's become a sponsor of Shake a Leg, and we host one of the events. It's a laser event. There'll be 180 boats on our site with kids from around the world.
And when is this?
This is in December.
Every December?
Every December.
That's December what? Is it?
Like between Christmas and New Year's.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So it's so from the Orange Bowl funding the startup of our summer camp, which is now grown. We just finished it a week ago, to where now Children's Trust is a big sponsor of that, along with the Batchelor Foundation and several other supporters. This past summer, we had about 300 kids a day on site, and for like 8-week period of time, and 40% of them had some type of documented disability. 90% of them were on free or reduced lunch, and probably 900 unique kids were able to get out on the water. And so thank you, Lester, for helping us start this program.
That's great. Harry, let's talk about the inner city kids. Now, I've given talks every now and then in inner city kids, and I'll meet kids who they've never been to Coconut Grove, they've never been to the Bay, they've never been in a boat. And like, these are things that as a kid I took for granted, because we'd go to the beach, maybe somebody's dad had a boat. So being on the water was like, it was just like, you lived in South Florida, of course you're on the water. And then you meet these kids who have literally never been to the Bay. Now, you know, I've not been at Shake a Leg. When they come to your program, it's like, what are some of the changes that you're seeing as far as like because once you see something, you can't unsee it. And it has to just like change your life to see this big, beautiful body of water and go experience it. Like, what are some of the changes you're seeing with these kids?
Well, for many of them, they've never seen the water. So here they are seeing the water and getting onto the water, and the emotions that you see these kids go through, like, am I going to be is a shark going to be eating me? And
Everybody's seen Jaws.
right? And for the from fear to just lack of belief in what you can do, and all of a sudden steering a boat and boosting confidence and learning about the wind and the weather and not being afraid, but being knowing and planning around weather, and that it's that Mother Nature has a lot to offer. These kids are not just getting on the water, but they're being part of Mother Nature, and that in itself are changing these kids' lives. So whether they're on Biscayne Bay or leaving their house, they're preparing. Is it going to rain today?
Mm-hmm.
How hot is it going to be? Am I hydrating properly? So their experience by coming down to Shake a Leg is introducing them to the Miami environment and showing them ways to live in the environment.
And enjoy it. Yeah. Now, Shake a Leg, you've been around since 1990, so that's 36 years. So I'm sure you've had kids that came when they were very young who are still with the program. Tell me about one of those kids.
Sure. That's one of the proudest aspects I have for the program, where we have kids that come in as campers, and then they graduate to become a mentor, where they are now volunteering and giving back, and then they graduate to become a staff person. For many of them, getting their first paycheck, and the pride that you see them go through, and the competition also, because now they're all competing for, I think we have like 20 staff positions available, paid staff positions, and we have about 200 volunteer mentor positions. And to qualify for a staff person, you have to have gone through the mentor program. And some of these kids will volunteer throughout their high school career. And I think we hire at 18. Mm-hmm. So the kid has to be 18 years old. But there's several positive examples of people that, students who have come back to us to say how their experiences Shake a Leg help them set the direction that they went to go into college, into healthcare or engineering, and or into finance, and that they've been successful in how even Louis Pagan, who met his wife at Shake a Leg, and
Shake a Leg success story.
Yeah, and they're for the past couple of years, their kids have been at Shake a Leg.
Nice.
So that seeing that whole evolution, and Keandra Rainey, who is our program director, she started out as a volunteer, and now she leads the summer program.
I met her. She's a great ambassador for Shake a Leg Miami.
Yes. So she's another example, and she, her kids have grown up at the program. Her daughter just enlisted in the Air Force.
Good for
and
her.
now doing well there. So it's people like Keandra and others that show us all the way.
It's hard to imagine these at-risk kids coming to shake a leg, going through the program, and ending up poorly because they've got such great mentors around them that, they're younger, same age, older, and having great outcomes. I think you're doing a really great service there.
Yeah.
Harry, for the parents who are listening that would like their kids come get involved, how do they get involved?
Well, go onto our website. It's shakelegmiami.org, and there's go to the program section for the youth program, and
there's summer camps. But there's stuff going on all year long, right?
Yeah. So starting in September, October, upcoming, there'll be our weekend programs, Saturday programs, and Sunday programs. Saturdays are for young kids with disabilities, and we match up, and high school mentors. So any mentor, able-bodied or disabled, can become a mentor if they're in high school. And then on Saturdays, they all work together with the younger kids and go have fun. So they're all going out on the water.
And there's little islands right there.
Right.
You've got like camping spots and all that. Tell me about that.
That's pretty
cool.
Not camping. Okay. It's all day activities.
Day camp stuff.
Yeah.
Tell me about this because it's pretty cool.
So part of when we were developing the facilities that we have now, those islands were really attractive from the whole environmental aspect of education. And we were fortunate to be able to work with our Congresswoman Ileana Ross-Layton.
I remember her.
And Kerry Meek. And
also Miss Meek, yes, I remember her as well.
And then
they're long retired, but yes, of course.
And we were able to get a congressional appropriation to do a restoration of all those islands.
From the federal level or the state level?
From the federal level.
That's awesome.
And so we were able to determine that those islands were made by the federal government when they dredged for the Coast Guard station and when they dredged for the Pan Am, which prior to that was for the Navy. So, and then one of the islands, so they removed all the exotics, which were mainly the Australian pines.
You probably had all the Brazilian peppers out there too, I'm sure.
Yeah. And then we, the one island that we utilized for the summer camp and all people use throughout the year was designated as the recreational island. And so we have a dock, pathways, and beach area. And during the summer, for summer camp, the kids go paddling on kayaks, and they go sailing on Hobie Cats, they go fishing, and they go swimming and do art and just have fun on the water. They go out in the morning and come back in the afternoon.
Well, let's talk about swimming because these kids who have never seen the bay or been in the bay, swimming is going to be an issue, and the parents are going to have some very real fears, especially with the kids, with the autistic kids who are. That's a very vulnerable population. What are you guys doing to mitigate the risk of these kids being on the water?
Well, that is a real issue. State of Florida, I think, is number one in drowning.
It is, and Dade County is way up there. Yep.
So for us, all kids are required to wear their
PFDs.
life jackets on throughout the day, whenever they're on the water. And And then there's the water safety education that goes along with it.
Lifeguard training, is that?
Well, all our staff lifeguard.
And volunteers. I'm sure they're all trained also.
Not all are lifeguard certified, but many are. I don't know the percentage, but and that's a goal, is to for the mentors, offering these courses that get them certified as lifeguard, lifeguard certified, sailing certified, all the different disciplines. It's to their advantage to know, have this and have that on their resumes, whatever they're going to do, whether college, trade schools, it doesn't matter. It's creating skill sets for their lifestyles, whatever they want to do in life. If you have more skill sets, and recreating on the water is a great way
to build confidence all around.
Right. So we, and everyone's eyes are with everyone. And then with the kids, they too, they're constantly, educated about, what you can and can't do. There's, no running on the dock. There's, you got to stay together, and all kids are in pods. So
buddy system.
Yes. So everyone's looking out for each other.
Okay. Now going to the sailboats being disability friendly. How do you say it? Disability friendly, accessible? What's the word you use for the sailboats?
Well, disability friendly is, I guess, a term you could use.
And what's different about them?
So they're not going to capsize. They're wide. They're stable. You can fit people, like 8 people into them, and people can be tight. And when you're sitting next to someone, and there's a sense of comfort now.
Yes, of course.
That you have you're together. And
what do they do to the boats to retrofit them so they can't capsize?
Well, they put in it was designed when
a very heavy keel, I'm sure.
Yeah, a heavy keel, a wide beam, a flat, stern, and all the lines come back into the cockpit. There's 2 seats for a person with a mobility impairment, so they can sit in the seat and be stable and not worry about flopping around.
That's amazing. And how many boats do you have?
We have 8 of the Freedom Independence boats, and we have 3 Hobie Cat sailboats. We have, I think, about 30 or 40 kayaks.
You got a pretty big fleet there. Yeah.
We have some bigger boats, 40-foot catamaran, that Power Cat, that is the workhorse that takes kids out to the sandbars to swim and to tour. And then we have some other power boats. We actually have a replica of Hemingway's
I
blog.
saw that one. Very cool. Yeah, all wood.
And that was given to us by Mike Fernandez and Andy Garcia.
Oh, really?
Andy had.
Was that Andy's boat?
He went and he wrote a screenplay on doing a movie on Hemingway and his.
Did it come out?
It didn't come out. It never happened because of
who knows what Hollywood stuff going on.
Right, with COVID and all of that stuff. So, but then, they gave it to us. So we've been trying to maintain it. It's not easy to maintain.
No, an all wood boat. That's a lot of work. I know. So Harry, before we wrap it up, Shake a Leg, your summer camps and your yearly camps and not camps, but programs. You also have a veterans program that goes on during the week, inclusive fishing. Now, these programs, they're paid, they're unpaid. How does that work?
Well, their majority are funded through our fundraising efforts.
Okay.
So, like a program that's about to start now for young adults, kids with autism, we would kids that have interests, have talent, and want to do something where they can develop a skill, find a purpose, work with their hands. With the Marine Vocational program is a great way to put your skill sets to work and develop new skills.
And these are no-cost programs?
These are no-cost programs.
Yeah, I also saw, talking about like your Marine your school there, you have like a program to get these young adults trained and into the workforce.
That's this program right here.
What's it called?
It's the Marine Vocational and Hospitality Program.
Okay.
And what we believe is that by starting on learning about being on the water, developing the confidence and skills, enjoying it, making friends, that the person can develop a sense of confidence that they can go on and do more, go back to school, pick up courses, or, maybe it's just being a intern down at Shake a Leg and doing something of purpose, a couple days a week. Jobs, for what we find, a lot of the folks, a lot of the young adults with disabilities are looking for a job. Yes, and we want to help them get that. But full-time jobs, probably not practical for a number of reasons, whether, benefits that, could be lost or the like. But part-time stuff is. And
very valuable. It gives you a sense of that you're not just accomplishing, but you're contributing. So yeah, I think those part-time jobs are a very big benefit for that population.
Yeah, and we would like Shake a Leg to become a larger hangout for young adults with disabilities, where they know this is their place. They can come, they can hang out with their friends.
You talking about like a social club?
Like a social club? Yeah.
I think, because like I know your facility, it's really a big place.
Yeah.
It's on the water, so it's very just social.
Right.
So I'm going to look into that for you, because I think that's a great place. It's very the Grove is very centrally located.
Yeah. No
matter where you're from. Let me ask you a question. I don't know if you know this, but like, let's say it's an inner city kid, the mom's watching right now, wants to get her boy or her daughter involved in Shake a Leg. Is there also transportation for them, or that's on you?
There's transportation during the summer, but not during the school year. So,
well, the summer's a start. And how would they get that transportation, Harry?
They would apply to the program, and then
to Shake a Leg.
Yeah.
And you guys facilitate the.
Right.
That's fantastic.
Right.
Yeah, great. Well, Harry, this has been a great conversation. I'm a really big fan of you guys. I can't imagine Dade County without Shake a Leg. And I think when I talk about you guys, everybody knows who you are, but they're not exactly sure what you do. So hopefully we've shed a little light here.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
great.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you got the camps going on right now, which I think that these camps and they're day camps that are based on the water, I can't think of a better experience for kids than that. I wish I'd had that when I was a kid, but
Well, thank you, Victor.
And
we applaud what you do and welcome all the dads and moms.
Yeah, of course.
And kids.
Maybe we can facilitate that.
Make Shake a Leg your yacht club, and look forward to having the next Autism Day down at Shake a Leg.
Yeah, that would be great. Well, I'm definitely a friend of Shake a Leg, and whatever I can do for you guys, I'll definitely do that.
Okay.
Well, Harry, let's turn to the camera and we'll sign off.
Okay.
So this has been the Autism Podcast with Harry Horgan from Shake a Leg, Miami. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.